everybody. Our mission here at the Heart Coherence Collaborative is to get people in touch with the healing power of the heart.
And we really need your help. Right now, only 1% of viewers subscribe. We are aiming to take that number to 6%.
The reason why we want to do that is the more people that subscribe, the more people in the world can learn the magical practice of heart coherence.
So please help us out. If you've ever listened, if you love this message, please just take a moment to subscribe.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
Today is such a, important day because we start our challenge tomorrow. And we really wanted to just be here with everyone in the heart space before this special day of going into the heart for 30 days, starting this new relationship with the self, the heart. And we couldn't think of anyone better to help send everyone off than you, Kim. So thank you.
Thank you. It is such an honor. I can see everybody's beautiful shining faces and it feels like everyone's very ready to receive this. So thank you guys for all of us being here together. It's such a wonderful thing. I'm so excited to get going.
Oh, that's beautiful. And if you could just introduce yourself, from our perspective, you're like the coolest doctor in the world. You're like cutting edge physician who's basically just about what is really healing you. And we've talked to one cool thing about this upcoming challenge is we interviewed a lot of different doctors and they talk about the problem with just treating like specific body parts versus not the symptom, the whole system and what that can do. And I've seen that lately. Like I had a heart problem and I went to the heart doctor and they looked at my heart and they couldn't figure out anything going on, but it was actually just my energy field, and you look at the entire energy field and we just admire you.
Yeah. All right. Can everybody see me okay? Okay. So I'm Kim DEramo. I am a physician and I have since a very young age had an awakening experience where I could feel lots of energy, emotions, awareness, have a knowing, inner knowing of what really truth was and what was really going on beneath the surface. And I wouldn't have known it at the time, but sort of just like read the energy field and have total clarity of like what was really at the root of whatever was going on at the surface. During that awakening experience, I had total clarity of what I was here to do, that I was going to become a doctor, that all the doors would be opened to do that. Because I was like, how am I going to do this? And that I would ultimately have a foundation to share this truth from this big awakening from a really higher vantage point in medicine to other doctors, to create a conscious medical system based on the truth that the body heals itself, that the mind and body are connected, and that our consciousness is creating what's showing up physically. And that couldn't have been more clear at the time, but later on was like, how the heck am I going to do this? But there was such a deep trust. And then, flash forward, I went to medical school. I did go to an osteopathic medical school. So for that foundational part, it was a lot of people I got to work with that were doing this kind of healing, like doing amazing things I just didn't even know we could do. Reading people from across the room, healing people remotely, resolving illness completely. And I learned from them and it was a gift from God. I later on went to go do my residency in emergency medicine, which was trauma and critical care and kind of all of the ways I think that medical system is really serving us well. If your arm is off, we can put it back on. We can get your heart started up. We can make sure you don't die today and do our best to keep you alive. So I really I found that both came together for me. Like I was able to hold this deep, deep center of clarity, inner connection, and that really helped and supported what I was doing in that outer field of emergency medicine. Like they weren't separate. So people will say, oh, you're kind of doing this kind of thing over here with health and wellness, but you came from way over here in more like a tertiary care, end care. But to me, it was very, very connected. Like the more I connected within, the more everything went smoothly with my team. I knew what medication I needed to give. I was able to work fluidly. And so I think this is really serving what I'm doing now to help people connect within for not only healing, but also creation, because there are many, many, many of us who are here to be a part of this conscious medical system. And it will awaken from within you that you're like, okay, I don't know, maybe you do toning and you're like, this is a healing tones to help people heal, or you have intuitive awareness, or all kinds of things that haven't been created yet will be created through you. And if you are set up to trust that and let it come through, that is how the new conscious medical system gets created. And so what I'm doing is working with people to be certified mind body practitioners to connect within for creation. And it has to do with money, and it has to do with business structures, and it has to do with releasing fear and unworthiness. Like, we've all carried so much unworthiness, but that's going to have to be put in the back seat, and your truth driving the car, because so many of you guys are, I mean, probably everybody here in some way is here to be a part of that truth coming forward, so that everyone is resourced and everyone can live in true health. So that is what I'm up to. And
So-
I can lead us today through some heart coherence.
Yeah, we thought that you would be perfect to talk a little bit more about just the reason why we should practice heart coherence and what's going on scientifically.
Yes. So the body is electromagnetic, first and foremost. The source that created us and creates us is always here now, not in the past, not in the future, not outside of you in like, oh, I've got to learn that thing, or she's really smart. It's in you, it's through you. And so the best way to resource yourself to heal from a disease or deal with any major conundrum coming up in your life is get here now. And your body only lives in the now. And your heart is the most powerful electromagnetic center in your body. And so connecting in the heart is like your central hub for any creation. And that includes resolution of all of the impossible things that the mind is like, I don't know how this could possibly work out. I don't even have a reference point for that. And it won't want to let you trust, but you're going to choose to trust, because I mean, you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to make that choice. And so slowing and deepening your breathing, we'll do it right now, is a great way to start to come into the now and start to ignite new pathways in the body. Your body is going to begin working very differently. It actually gets upgraded. Your DNA gets upgraded. You just close your eyes and breathe as you allow the opening. And the opening is just connect with your heart. That center does the work on your body. That center does the work on your energy system. Your energy system goes beyond the body. If you're someone who can see it, you might see colors or light or current. You may feel it, like you get close to someone and you feel their vibe. You may hear it. You may sense it, just physically sense it. Or you may just know, whoa, that person's unhappy. Or, oh, I've got to say this thing now. So you're going to begin trusting this. And that allows the circuitry to open more fully. So you can put your hand on your heart. You can take the elevator shaft from the head and like go down to the heart. You can just kind of bring sensation or just intend to connect with your heart. And sometimes the mind is like, I'm not doing it right. And you just say, I love you. Thank you. You're welcome to be here too, because just your intention is enough. And so just breathing in and out as if it is this area that is doing the breathing, this area of your heart that's letting the breath in. And you could see this energy center or the area of your heart expanding out beyond your body with the inhale. And letting everything sink back in with the exhale. Let this area be ignited, activated through this practice. And if that's all you do for 5 or 10 minutes a day, this will ignite new circuitry in your system. This will allow the source consciousness or source spirit, whatever you want to call it, that is here now to move and expand throughout your body and to move, infiltrate, and expand throughout your life. So a situation, it will do the work for you. And so as you do this, soften your shoulders, because it allows the body to do what it's designed to do even more fully. And then you could slow your breath to be a 1-to-1 inhale and exhale. You can allow the breath to come all the way down to your belly and your pelvis. You could see your belly expanding out with the inhale. And then let your belly sink back in with the exhale. And just let go. Your body already knows how to do this. And this letting go is a surrender, that you let your body begin to do the work. It already knows how to release everything you're holding that's in the way of your prosperity, health, wealth, and joy. It already knows how to release and exactly what to release that's been blocking that. But when you become still and let go, use your intention to connect with the heart, you let it do this even more fully. So we're just going to stay here for several breaths of no thing and be willing to be in the nothing, quote unquote, welcoming everything the mind thinks about that. I don't have time to do nothing. It's stupid to do nothing. This is nothing. This is dumb. And just welcome what the mind thinks about this. Willing to surrender even still, even more fully. When you allow the no thing, you actually enter a possibility for everything. So a few more deep breaths here, letting the space of the heart now be activated as you breathe in and as you breathe out, as if the heart is breathing in, expanding out beyond your body, and breathing out, letting everything go. And just allow a moment of receptivity beyond who you think you are, beyond everything you think needs to happen. Could I be receptive to allow the deeper truth of who I am to inform my system? So breathing in and breathing out, allowing that to take place. It will open up the circuitry and let your system begin running at a higher frequency. So let everything go on the exhale. And feel anything that's been on your heart, anything particular that's been getting your attention in your life. It could be a yearning or an impatience or a pain of being where you are as you are. It could be a deep desire for more in a way that just seems way too big to even ask for. It could be a loneliness of continuing to do it alone, thinking that you're separate. It could be an experience in a relationship, fear, tension, turmoil, hurt. It could be in your money or your work, anything general or specific that has been getting your attention, either positively or negatively. Life will call us through inspiration and desperation, one or the other, and we will directly connect with that through the heart. What is the real calling here underneath this? We may be super inspired to create something amazing for others. We may be inspired to receive beauty or our home or a lover or friends or money for a higher purpose of joy for ourselves. We may be feeling the loneliness of where we've experienced life as if we're separate and alone. The pain of thinking we're not good enough and so holding ourselves back. So notice anything and everything that comes up for you. If everything were possible and you really were connected to that part of you that is unlimited, that is the creator beyond all of the created, what would you allow? What would you allow for yourself? And what would you create for the world? Stay in the frequency of this for the next several breaths. The electromagnetics of your heart connect in a powerful way to every part of your body. Your body is pure energy. In the center of your heart will electrically and magnetically send messages to realign every other part of your energy system. So when you bring your attention to your heart and you bring your attention to that inner calling, the inspiration or the desperation, with love and compassion, you activate this in your system. Your system is a receptor. It can receive this message, the energy and consciousness of that desire. And it can play that just like a movie projector can play a certain movie. It's not about what you've been seeing on the screen. It's about what you're putting into the projector. Your heart is the projector. Breathing in and out. What would it feel like to live this intention? To be free. If you've been more in the desperation, I want you to welcome into your heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was resolved in the most miraculous and beautiful way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was resolved in ways I had never imagined and I never could have done myself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. It is created. It is magnificent. I'm so grateful and thankful. If you've been more in the inspiration, let in the energy of that inspired vision. And the same thing, thank you, thank you, thank you, in your heart. I am so grateful and thankful. We are here. I am held. I am infinitely resourced. And there is infinite power available to me that I'm accessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. I am so grateful and thankful for what has been created. Let your body physically soften. Physically softening lets your body release everything that doesn't allow this to manifest energetically, etherically, emotionally. You may be feeling some of the emotions of that joy. Mentally, in your imagery, seeing a vision or colors or seeing something reflected. Emotionally, mentally, and physically, it can then show up also in the physical dimension. Notice it happens first energetically, etherically, emotionally, mentally. When you become the vessel to hold that frequency, it will then physicalize. It can't not, because that's how your body is designed. And so when you hold this, do it gently and without attachment, so that what shows up physically is this or something even better. What shows up physically is the highest version of this energy. Sometimes what shows up physically is the opposite of what I thought was supposed to show up, but it's something that creates even more peace. Sometimes what shows up physically is in a different timing than what I thought, but I could hindsight look back and see it has been perfect divine timing. And so when you hold in your heart the intention, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and it could be just as simple as thank you, thank you, thank you. It will always and is already being created on the physical level. Focus your attention more in the etheric, the emotional, the mental, and your body is already healing. And your body is already creating it. Erase the chalkboard of the physical, erase the chalkboard of the outer, so that you can even more fully activate the inner. Now, as we complete, let's all keep your eyes closed and join together that you can amplify the power that's coming through your heart and the power and ignition of your intention with the power that's coming through all of us, all beings who listen to this recording, and all of us who are here live together, that we feel each other and it exponentially increases the power and the potency we allow to come through us. So feel that as if we're right here physically with each other, because we are right here energetically with each other. And that might feel like a warm hug or a touch on the thigh and the leg, or your arm or your hand or your shoulder. It might feel like hands supporting you on your upper back. Feel that we are connecting. And let yourself receive each other. This has not just been your vision. It is the vision of the human collective when we awaken. Take a last few deep breaths to let this in. As your body softens, let your body know it is okay to receive all of this. You could say that inside yourself, body, it's okay to let this in. You are safe. And over the next week, you can bring your hand to your heart anytime and breathe, letting your body know, body, it's okay to ignite that vision, and it's okay for us to let this in. you are safe. And this grounds your body back into this new circuitry that you are establishing. Take a last deep breath, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you. Feel relaxed. Kim, would you have time if we take a couple questions from the audience?
Yeah, I would love to hear from everyone. I would hear from everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in asking a question, just type it in the chat and we'll ask it to Kim. Kim, thank you for that. We'd love to hear what's going on in your life. We've come out there and seen you. It's been a while since we've caught up. What's new?
I'm actually over here in the guest house where we had our
Yeah.
retreat. We were here, so you know this room. We're having our pipes worked on, and he's using sonic technology. And he's like, "You guys need to all leave the house. I can hear you sniff your nose." What's going on in my life? We are launching. My second book is just about to come out, called Be Your Own Healer. It's at drkimd.com/BYOH. And this book is really a very living organism. Like, it's guiding you through the work. It's working on you as you read. And there is a process I bring you through in the book. There are audios that come with the book. To do that integration each day as you read the book. It's easy. It just takes a few seconds. And I'm so excited because I know there's so many people ready to be alive, ready to establish that new circuitry. What we focus on expands. And when we focus on this outer world of limitation, we're just focusing back into like a false reality. This is the past. It's like the projector is shining on the movie screen and you're thinking the screen is the reality, but it's the projector. You are alive, you are creating. And so I'm really excited to be giving people that experience. And then the other major thing is I've launched for the first time. I've worked with practitioners for about a decade who are awakening to their gifts and talents and strengths and learning to create for money and for business, right? Because it has to be an exchange, so that they're actually prosperous as a healer or a therapist or a coach or a whatever practitioner. There's some doctors, and now we've created as a certification. So it's a certification as a mind-body medicine practitioner for those who are stepping into this conscious medical system and finding the courage to be a part of that. So that is also something we're in the process of doing right now. We just launched it.
That's super cool. I didn't even know about that. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. We have some questions from, do you have a question?
I would love to do as many of the audience questions as we
Okay,
can.
cool.
Do you want me to read that one?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Betsy says, I felt some anger coming up during that. Is that unusual? Does it interfere with the intention?
Mm,
It's great because as you allow the frequency of the intention to come up, it's a higher vibe. What will happen is everything that's lower that you're ready to release will come up, and it's coming up kind of like you're the gatekeeper. Like, no, 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 we're not letting this go. Or yes, 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 I'm letting this new thing in, and I'll let go of everything in the way. And you can do that just with one breath. You say yes to this anger. I allow this anger to be here. And you literally, as you welcome it, it dissolves, because it's what you resist that persists. So as you welcome everything that's coming up, it's kind of like it's been tucked in and tucked down and like under the rug. And now you're like shaking out that rug, and all the little nuggets are going to come up, and you just, yes, yes. And the breath is like the wind carrying them away. And so it's perfect because the body knows exactly what needs to be let go in order for you to receive the new intention.
hmm. We had Mel say that every time she goes into the heart or a process like this, she's always thinking about her children's joy and health. She asks, can me bringing my heart space to the highest point help them?
100%. So as Kyle and Leah have taught for a long time, the heart emanates a powerful electric and magnetic frequency. Now, if you had certain devices, they can detect both of those and quantify them. They can even up to 8 to 10 feet away from the body quantitatively detect those. Now, you as an energy sensitive being are detecting it across the planet. Doesn't mean you're consciously aware, like, oh, wait, my client over in Australia is thinking of me. No. But if you can develop that awareness, and I have this weird, like, I just know when someone needs to hear from me, and I'll trust it and send them a message. But your circuitry is registering it. So usually it's unconscious, meaning say you got a grandchild and they went way far away for school, but you're lovingly thinking of them. It will affect their electromagnetics. It will affect their physiology. It will affect their brain function. And many times, especially younger kids, will be consciously aware, like, were you thinking of me? Or they'll maybe call you. The older we get, it gets a little bit taught out of us. So we're like, we deny that and we suppress it, and then we're not consciously aware, but we are still registering it just the same. And this is fascinatingly been shown in studies by the Heart Math Institute, where they're looking at people's physiology or their thoughts or their mood. Subjective and objective information will be shifted and changed when someone is sending them love and sending them positive thoughts.
I have a question. When I go into the void, like you kind of just had us go into the nothing, the nowhere, the no space, and just kind of relax myself into that. I've been spending like a lot of time in that space lately, probably too much time, but I'm like addicted to going into the void. And what ends up happening is my external environment rearranges itself so drastically and so quickly, and it can feel so intense at times that it makes me want to jump back into my known predictable reality. Do you have any advice for like
Yeah.
how to know, is it because
Right.
for me it seems so intense sometimes.
Well, the first thing is that is a very masculine approach to the process, which would be very appropriate for you being a more masculine oriented being. So I don't think it's going to be too much. Like you just said, maybe it's too much, but I think it's going to nurture you. The second thing is to let the body know it's safe to let this in. Letting the body know it's safe literally turns off the fight or flight circuitry, the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system focuses the brain back into where's the threat? Where's the threat? Run from the dragon, back into the problem, back into the now of the emergency. And that is not usually going to be useful. Like, we're not actually in a true emergency. And so you can let the body know we're safe, we're okay. And it will turn off that fight or flight circuitry, which, by the way, enhances your reactivity and ability to react in a true emergency. So the opposite of what people think, well, I'm turning it off, but what if I really need it? It's actually going to work better when you really do need to yank your hand from the hot stove or quickly run to jump over before you trip. And so for you, letting your body know we can trust this. And so dropping into the heart is a powerful way to do it, because whatever you put in the heart gets amplified to the whole body. It's like a messenger system, like an amplification. And so you could breathe in and out of your heart and say, it's safe to allow all of this change.
Thank you.
So Carol is asking this question, and I think it might be relevant to anybody who has had a past where they had a disease or a pattern or some kind of trauma. She says, after a very long bout with cancer and chemo, how can I assure myself that the cancer won't come back? What can I do?
Okay, so I would first let go of wanting to assure yourself the cancer won't come back, and receive that you can move through it, whatever does arise. That's the most important thing. Like, okay, because there are some theories that everybody's body is constantly moving through some inflammatory processes of that development of inflammatory cells we call cancer, and then the resolution of that as well, that it never gets detected or grows. And so it's not so much, oh, I got to make sure this doesn't come back, as it is, oh, I stay in fluidity, that I'm always in resolution and harmony. The harmony lets my body resolve whatever arises. And so then that pertains to like inflammation or what could be cancer cells, but it also pertains to like fear that arises or uncertainty that arises or a weird situation. I don't know what to do. It's okay for me to stay in harmony, so I fluidly move through whatever arises. Was there more to that question though that I
think
want
that's
to?
really good.
Okay.
I just passed 10 years of being cancer free, and it's interesting because I always told myself I don't think it's going to come back, but thing I always told myself was if it did, I can handle whatever happens. And that has kept it away and kept me where I'm really not living in fear.
But this is good. This is what I wanted to speak to.
know
There's
whatever
a difference. This is exactly what I wanted to speak to and add. There's a difference between the survivor mentality of bring it on, I can handle whatever comes my way, which sometimes people think, then it's protection, it's armor, and that's actually your fight or flight system, versus what Leah's talking about, which is really about I will fluidly move through whatever comes my way. I will stay in harmony to allow the resolution of whatever comes my way. And that's more about being a really good receiver.
Question from Rebecca. Do you have any tips for anyone suffering from long COVID or chronic fatigue?
Yes. Okay. So I had a person I interviewed on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Kim DeRamo, last May, who came through my Embracing Health program and had over a year of severe long COVID. He was on the floor most days, couldn't leave his house for over a year, on disability, couldn't go to work anymore, like very severe. And within, I think it was 6 weeks of this program of what we were doing, which is, a lot similar here, opening the new circuitry, had a resolution, got on his bike and started riding his bike. And you want to listen to that interview because he talked about how first he was like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't believe, but he just did the work anyway. And what happened then, he got on his bike, he rode his bike, and then he kept looking, is there anything else here? And there were 3 major upheavals of a resolution, and they were mental and emotional. One was this idea, I'm worthless, I'll never amount to anything. And he kind of felt all of the physiology from his lineage come up and used the work to breathe through that and had just a big upheaval. And then it was like this massive amount of energy came back. And then again, there was another pit stop where it kind of plateaued and he felt through shame, which is a very low frequency. It's the lowest frequency that can be held in the human body, where we feel there's something wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, or this shameful embarrassment of ourselves. We don't love ourselves. And he, again, we can use this work to transmute energy. That's what you're doing when you breathe through the heart. And so, again, had a massive upheaval and release, and then got all his energy back. And he kind of kept moving through it to say, all right, is there anything else? And the body would show him. And after like those 3 flows, waves of shift, he got the clarity. We're done. We're done with that. He did continue to use this work to like expand in his life. He met the love of his life, which he never thought would happen. And so you start with where you are. What is arising right now with the heaviness of the fatigue or the oppression of like, oh, this long COVID, or the thoughts, I'll never be free. I can't, the powerlessness, I can't do anything about this. So each person, you'll have your own little flavor of what's underneath the situation. And that's what you want to welcome and bring up and move through.
We have a question from someone who's asking about hyperthyroidism, but I've noticed there's so many people who have something going on with their thyroid in recent years. So can you talk about what's going on with hypo?
Okay. In general, there's okay, I'm going to go a little deeper with this. In the old fear-based frequency, where our life was based on fear, survival, like the idea that bombs are going to protect us, right? You're like, this is just dumb, because now most of our resources are going into protecting ourselves from bombs. We have had this a lot of revving up of fight or flight. The adrenals are on overdrive, survival. That no longer has any energy in it, meaning we will not continue to survive if we just function at that level. Like, we've got to begin to move beyond fear. And so what we're seeing as a collective is that a lot of individuals, when we hold on to the fear, our adrenals are, you get like adrenal fatigue, that directly affects the thyroid, meaning, so our adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys, and that's our cortisol and adrenaline and the alert system. And it also communicates with our brain and with our thyroid. And these are all interrelated. When that's overrun, it's sort of like letting your body know, we're not safe, we're not okay, high alert. And for a few seconds, your body's going to be fine with that. But it's years and years, and people are running on that system all the time. And so it will deplete our energy reserves. And one of the big things with low thyroid is like your adrenals already conked out way back there, and you got to replete the adrenals, and that will replete the thyroid. And I've seen this almost universally in my practice. People can get off the thyroid medication and start functioning in a new way. Just the kind of work we're doing today. With hyperthyroid, it's a little bit of a different process of what's going on, but it's exactly related. What I've seen energetically is that when we open, even though we're scared, even though we don't know and we don't understand how could it work out, just the exercise we did, we soften, we open, we begin to let in resources that go beyond the frequency we were residing, right? So when we reside in powerlessness and fear, what life will reflect is there's nothing that can be done, or, I got to keep going to the hospital for hyperthyroid, or I never met anybody who even knows what to do for what I have. They don't even have a name for it. And so that's what shows up on the movie screen. When you shift within and allow even a 2% increase in your frequency, I'm so scared, and it's okay to feel as scared as I feel. You will see a shift in the outer. Like miraculously, someone will show up that says, oh, I know exactly what to do. Let's do this. And it will actually work. Or money shows up for the resource you were wanting and intending. The miracle comes in, but it actually came from your inner shift. So with any of these situations, no, running on the fear frequency is not going to work for you anymore. And you got to devote yourself to maybe a daily practice of like a 10-minute of body, we're safe. Body, we're safe. It's okay to feel as scared as I feel, and let the system know. So the system's like, oh, wait, we don't need to do that anymore. Okay. And it will actually let go of the fear programming and start to let in something new. And then the physiology will respond.
Awesome. Last question from the audience. Is it possible to resolve my struggle with not having a steady income, even though I'm a PhD and many other qualifications and people love my work, but I just cannot hold on to any source of income? And then other people have said me too.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone just take a big deep breath. Yeah, it's definitely 100% possible, and it's way bigger than that. And so for this person specifically, what we're doing here to go into the heart, especially if you got a PhD, you've been practicing being in the mind, that old paradigm of I'm a physical body, or my worth is in my degree, or my worth is how smart I am and always having the right answers. That is the paradigm that is void of abundance. There's no more energy in it that you could even try to eke out, like a little bit of a hit of, we're going to put your name on a billboard, and you're celebrated, you're so smart. And even that little hit won't feed you enough that it will give you real energy. And so it's that paradigm has died, and you can let go and trust that your worth and value comes from a deeper space within you that has nothing to do with your degree or your past or your training or the outer, but it actually will likely utilize those things to express itself through. For example, I'm a doctor, and I'm allowing source consciousness to speak through me as a doctor persona, right? So I'm not identifying with the identity, but I am allowing myself to utilize my training and to utilize what that degree has given me. And so you want to go to the heart first. You want to go to the universal source consciousness of who I am first. Now, of course, your system's like, I don't know how to do that. But when we do like the practice we did today, it literally creates the circuitry. So you do know, you have, it's like you think differently. You're clear. Whenever I communicate in my Embracing Health program or work with practitioners, the first thing I do is we drop everyone into the body, because there's no point in my saying anything to you when I'm talking to your mind, because your mind's gonna be like, wait a minute, what did she say? I don't understand. Wait, did she say this? I'm doing it wrong. And now we're just talking to a bunch of egos because the system isn't receptive. And so if you just start to let your system be receptive, soften your body, it's okay to let something new in. When you physically soften, your body is receptive, your system is receptive, your electromagnetics are receptive, and the clarity comes. And I've literally seen people just from that opening have money all of a sudden start to come in.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Everybody stick around until the end because we're going to have some details, but I'd love to close with the message that you would have for our group as we embark over this 30 days of practicing heart coherence.
You're here for a reason. There's been a lot of very deep loneliness for probably everyone in this, and myself included, in this subset, where we have some awareness of who we really are and what we're potentially here to live and how amazing and beautiful it is. And then we come into this dimension where it's like, oh wait, I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm alone and I'm lonely. And now, because of the level of sensitivity we've been equipped with, we're just feeling pain because it's painful to be in a dimension that says your value is outside of you and it's conditional and it's dependent on you doing the system thing. And that's excruciating to an awakened soul. And so you got to realize that's not your truth. You're in divine timing, perfect timing. You're in the right place. And that reality is over. I'm talking to myself here, but I'm feeling it through you. That's why I'm so glad that we've connected together live, because I need to hear this too. With all the compassion for the part of us who's suffered, we can let that reality go. We don't even need to keep reliving it or cleaning it up or hashing it out, or like you can let it go. And compassion is really the key to letting that complete. And so there's no limit. I was going to say sky's the limit, but it's like, it's unlimited what you could intend for to let be created through these 30 days.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I share one more thing.
Yeah.
I share the invitation. If anyone does feel inspired to work with me in that certification program, I will offer this to invite anybody who's been here to apply. And if it resonates, and I'll get on the phone with you for who's coming. It's a very limited number, but if you really feel called, I'll send you the application so you can apply and we can connect to see if this is a fit for you. And it's at drkimd.com/certification. I'll put it in the
When did that
notes.
start again, Kim?
It starts October 22nd.
Nice. So when we repost this video, we'll send that out too to our whole group.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, the book is coming out in a few weeks. So I'm really excited. It's called Be Your Own Healer. And you can pre-order that at drkimd.com/BYOH. So I'll put that here now as well. And thank you guys for this opportunity. And thank you, Kyle and Leah. And I'm so grateful for how much you've grown and the commitment, devotion you've had to this process.
Yeah, thank you for always coming and showing up and hanging out with us and our
Yeah.
community. Our community loves you so much. So I hope a bunch of our community members get certified under you. We trust you implicitly. So thank you.
All right. I love you. I'll be here anytime.
This interview is part of our 30-day Heart Coherence Challenge.
During these challenges, we send you a heart coherence meditation every day for 30 days, each designed to bring powerful healing benefits.
Throughout the event, we also release incredible interviews with guest speakers who inspire and uplift, like the one you're listening to right now.
If you would like to join a future challenge, go to www.heartcoherencecollaborative.com and register now. The link is in the description.
We're sending you love and hope you join us for the next challenge. We love you.